We normally don't do that. There's a lot of things going on in Canyon Lake to talk about.
Well, Heather, let's start with this.
What's up, JJ?
We're live on The Lone Wolf. The Lone Wolf with Heather. I'm going to start calling you Mrs. Mortgage.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like that.
You're a Mrs. Mortgage.
Mrs. Mortgage.
Yeah.
I love it.
Or like the UFC of mortgage, because you put those loans into submission today like nobody else.
Right before I got in the shower. Can you believe that? I got 2 deals in and approved before I got in the shower today. I felt like that was a pretty big win.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
3
hey.
clear to close.
Hey.
Maybe another.
Hey,
one?
I like same day clear to closes. You know, all that good stuff.
1 day, 2
1 day,
clear
2
to
days.
closes. I think we had a 5 and a 7.
We did.
Too.
We did. I think at our rate right now, we've been closing deals in less than 22 days. About that.
Yeah.
Yeah. About
At least
that.
refis. We could do it on purchases too. 21 days.
We're doing one right now on a
Decently,
purchase. Yeah.
Yeah. Decently clean file.
Yep.
You know, something with a 7 in front of it that doesn't have a, you know, a bunch of stuff to jump through, you know.
No solar. Just kidding.
The solar. The solar.
How many? And I love getting that to that question now. I have to text you today, and I said, but is there solar?
And I was like, yes, but it's a purchase. And she says, yes. Yes. If you guys are going to do solar, do a purchase, please.
Just purchase it, please. So what's up, Canyon Lake? It's good to see you again. It's a
news
nice
for
little
us,
Friday.
don't
I
you?
got
You got
some
some
news.
news?
Yes.
What's up, girl? What you got going?
I got some stuff going on. So there's a Canyon Lake golf tournament. I got some notes on it because I don't want to mess it up.
There's 2 of them.
There is.
They're like back to back, aren't
So
they?
this is a Junior Women's Club charity tournament. It is on Saturday, April 10th. Registration is $60 for Canyon Lake, the country club members, and $100 for non-members. It's going to be, registration is at 8 a.m. followed by a shotgun start and scramble at 9 a.m. Registration includes a round of golf cart rental while supplies last. I have a golf cart. And a box, lunch, and a drink. Awards and lunch will be presented at 1 p.m. We're going to this.
Let's go.
For
Yeah,
sure,
I'm
as
totally
a team.
in.
We're 100%.
Yeah.
It also features awards, raffles, prizes, and closest to the pin, longest drive, and putting contest. I told you I'm going to win some of these for sure. Tea and other sponsorship opportunities are available. Raffle and prize donations are also being accepted. So please hit up the Canyon Lake Junior Women's Club if you would like to be a part of that.
We should sponsor a tea.
I told you I wanted to
Yeah.
do this for sure. Like this is my jam.
We'll hit them up. I'm so busy. Every time I hear about it, I want to be involved. I want to sponsor it. You know,
I'm agree.
And I want to be there. But
Well, this one we're playing.
you know, then you know, we got a 3-pack of loans to put in real quick, and then I forget
It's always
about it.
real quick.
Yeah, right. And it turns into 48 hours.
Another really cool thing, if you've been down, I don't know if you go to Lake Elson or Walmart, JJ, but a lot of me and my moms do. New Walmart Super Center is opening off the 74.
Is it?
Yes, March 31st.
What?
At 8 a.m. Do you want to go?
Is it a super Walmart?
It's a Super Center. I'm going.
It's a super one.
I'm for sure
I
going.
heard they're going to close the.
They are.
Are they?
The one in Lake Elsinore
I
is
wonder
closing.
I wonder what they're going to do with that.
I know, right?
I mean, we don't need another bowling alley.
But they didn't do anything with, remember the Vons that was next door to the Walmart? They never did anything with that. You don't remember?
Is it still empty?
It's empty.
Really?
Nothing has ever been put in there.
Yeah, that sucks, man. The commercial, like the retail spaces, they're all like dead and gone. You go down to Marietta. Check this out. Go drive down to Marietta where Guitar Center is.
Oh, that's sad. No, that's
And
a
it's
sad one. We're Bed
80,
Bath and
85,
Beyond,
80 to 85% occupancy.
Toys R Us.
And it's a beautiful building. It's not that old.
Yeah, it's really
You know,
sad.
not to even mention like the city of Hemet and Moreno Valley. Where
Oh, we
there's
don't
just
want to go that way.
tons
It's just
of open
empty.
commercial.
That's just empty. You know, if you can, you guys get out to that Walmart, support it. It's a super center. It's going to be big. I know like the local Walmart opening shouldn't be big news, but to me, it's huge news. Also, Canyon Lake boaters are voted to the Yacht Club's Blessing of the Boat. So on Saturday, April 17th at 1:30 p.m., boats will assemble at 1:30 p.m. at Holiday Harbor Park docks. Yacht Club members will lead the participating boats to the cove near the boat tunnel. Each boat and its crew will receive a blessing of safe boating season. After the blessing, the Yacht Club flagship will lead the boats to a slow parade around the main lake, ending at Catfish Cove for celebration.
Ooh,
how cool is that?
I love Catfish Cove.
Saturday, April 17th. We definitely have to go to that. It's right after Easter. Easter's coming up.
It's I think
like a week away.
Yeah. No, it's really
got to plan our egg hunt.
My daughter is on the way to Girl Scouts where they have an Easter egg hunt right now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what sparked me to it. I had to open my phone.
That's awesome.
What month is it? You know.
Hold on a second. Did you say Easter?
What's going on there?
We just had St. Patrick's Day.
Right?
Another cool thing that we have going on, and we've talked about it a couple times here, JJ, is our breakfast club. And we are going to be starting this.
Yeah. It's done.
It's coming.
I'm done talking. We've been talking about
this
for
done talking
weeks
about
and
it, right?
Weeks and weeks.
Okay.
We have it nailed down.
Put your money where your mouth is, right?
We have a whole bunch of people that want to be involved.
A lot, and we're gonna
from the city, from the POA. There's people outside of that,
and we can open it up to the community, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. So here's the deal. What the whole breakfast club is about is identifying servers, local servers that are either starving college students, single moms, single dads, struggling from COVID, whatever the case may be.
It is.
Right. So if anybody knows a server like that works in the area, it doesn't have to be in Canyon Lake. It could be in Menifee, be in Elsinore. It could even be in Marietta, whatever.
I'll go to Giovanni's.
Yeah. Right. What the whole goal is to identify these people. And once a month, we're going to take a group of, 7 to 10 people. We'd love to have 20 people.
Yeah.
If we could get 20 people.
Or if they'd let us all sit together.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the issue too.
Yeah.
To assign a second server or whatever. Yeah. But the whole goal is to go in there, kind of like a flash mob. Everyone has $100 bill. They keep their breakfast or their lunch, whatever it is, under $25, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody leaves a $100 bill on the table, and we all walk out.
Yep.
And we actually have a date.
I cannot wait for this. I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever been so excited for a breakfast meeting in my life.
Yes, Saturday.
This tomorrow. Saturday.
It's actually it's lunch because the lodge isn't open for breakfast, but there's a server there that I know. I believe he has 4 kids.
Shh. You're gonna tell it already?
Oh yeah, I should.
You should keep it because everyone's gonna know.
I probably shouldn't talk about.
We'll talk about it after.
Yeah. Okay. There's a server there. There's a server there that's amazing. And there's plenty of servers there that are amazing, and we hope that we don't overlook people as well.
That's why we want your input. So please,
yes, we need your input. Please drop it down in the comments. Send us a private message. Get the word out to us because we're really, really struggling with that side of the concept.
Yeah,
is identifying the people who are most in need, right? But this first one is Saturday.
Yes.
At 1.
Yes, Saturday at 1.
I made a reservation for 10 people. Hopefully it's 12 or 15, but at least I'm hoping we can get 7 or 8. There's a few people who are already in on the concept. They're actually wanting to Venmo me money, but they can't come.
Okay.
So
that's another option.
We're going to work through that. Well, I don't want to do that Venmo thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to raise any concern or
that we're keeping. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't want to touch. I don't want to.
We're not touching nobody's money.
I don't want to touch. Money.
It's not for us.
If I don't have to, I don't want to touch the money.
I agree.
I just want to get this done.
Agreed.
Right. I want to do it once a month. I think we might get enough traction if we can find enough servers to do it every week.
Of course, 100%.
But
I might run out of hundreds, but
we found a person. The first one is this Saturday. It's at the lodge at 1:00. Send us a message if you want to be involved, or just show up.
Yeah.
The reservation's under JJ the Lone Wolf, right? So walk in, say,
"I'm here with JJ."
Yeah, take me to JJ's table, and we're gonna take care of people.
Yeah.
That whole concept is sponsored by Underline Energy Concepts. They do solar, roofing, heating, and air right here in Canyon Lake. They do purchases as well.
I was just going to say, put that in there.
Back to the solar thing, right? If you're going to purchase solar, you need to call Underline Energy Concepts. They're local people. They live here on the lake. They sell solar.
He does air conditioning and something else too, right?
Roofing.
Yeah, roofing too. Yeah.
Well, naturally.
Yeah.
I believe all the solar contractors have to be roofing contractors to begin with.
Yeah, I don't think they have to do the air conditioning though, right?
No. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
But while you're there, you might as well.
I mean, hey.
Well, it's all about energy savings, right?
Right.
And they do the windows, the double double pane windows, the better windows.
Right.
You know,
I saw a couple of my neighbors do that recently, get like the thicker windows, and I was like, wow, I
It
want
really-
thicker windows.
No, yeah, it really helps.
I bet.
It honestly does.
I bet.
It really does. But anyways, sponsored by Underline Energy Concepts. They're a great local business here, ran by a couple right here in Canyon Lake. So please, reach out and support them as well. They're doing amazing things. That I believe they'll be there on Saturday.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, at the table. So great time to meet them.
Well, Saturday will be our official first breakfast club, and we are so excited to bring this to this community because I'm pretty sure we've seen it done throughout a couple places, but to bring it to our very own community and kind of keep it to a local thing will be super rad. I'm really excited.
Super rad.
Yeah.
And like I said, we want to do this every week.
Yeah.
The problem is, the issue that we're having is finding the servers, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know all the servers everywhere. We don't, especially with COVID, everything's starting to open up.
Yeah.
Indoor dining starting to come back around.
Yeah.
I know that there's plenty of these people out there, but we're just one people.
Yeah.
So please,
I mean, I can eat out a lot, but
yes,
I can't.
you do.
I eat out a lot.
You do eat out a lot. That's actually kind of cool.
I thought everybody ate out as much as I do. Is that not normal to eat out like we do? Because we go to Pepe's. They know us by name. They know our order, and they have it at the table by the time we get there. If we go to the Lighthouse, the manager already knows where I want to sit. Like it's bad. Like I didn't know that other people didn't eat out like we do, but I mean, it's a problem.
No, I mean we
spend our money on food.
I know we eat out in some sort or effect, like
4 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe,
You're just as bad as me.
maybe more.
You know
Well, no,
what?
I'm actually worse than you because a lot of it's
You've got
fast
a lot.
food,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
what?
You go to Pepe's and get a decent meal.
But what did I have for lunch, JJ? Carl's Jr., Jack in
Yeah.
the Box, In-N-Out. Like, I'm basically like.
Is pizza healthy for you?
You know what? I've been
Because I think PZA. I had PZA for breakfast.
You had PZA like 3 days in a row.
I love that place.
I know you do.
really do.
We actually have to go up there and have a meeting with them, so we'll get to go eat again.
They're super nice people. I love hanging out with those people.
Super cool.
Really, another local family-owned business that's fantastic that you guys should certainly support.
And it's up in the Canyon Lake Shopping Center. If you go to the left of the sports stop, it's at the end, PZA. It is the bomb. And it will give A's a huge run for their money. Love A's. Classic OG.
I still love A's, but PZA, it's apples and oranges.
It's
totally
you
different.
can't even compare them.
And they have blood orange beer.
Ooh.
It's delicious.
I told you give me a fancy cocktail.
There's nobody at the main gate who has a blood orange beer except PZA.
Well, there you go.
There's not one.
They start making those foo-foo cocktails for me, and I'm all theirs all day. You know me.
Pepe's bites me with their
Put a flower in my drink, and
their
I'm all yours.
margaritas. Yeah, I'm a sucker for those.
A margarita with vodka?
Not to leave out the cowboy.
Cowboy's
or
cool.
the urban.
Cowboy.
Right?
Okay, I will give the cowboy. I like the spicy margarita, but I'll be real with you. I ordered it when I went on Girls' Day, and it didn't taste as good. Maybe it was because it tastes better when I'm with my husband. I don't know
Maybe.
if that's mean, but I don't know. Like, oh, this drink's so good. My husband's across from me. And then when the girls are with me, I'm like, it's not that great.
Well, while we're
But I
at
liked
it,
it.
I don't want to leave out the urban. The urban is absolutely amazing. And
Where was I at when you called me the other night?
I know. I got skunked on the ramen night.
You did.
I called 15 minutes before they closed, and I was just way too late.
But your niece served
But
me,
this
I'll tell you.
This Sunday, we're gonna get at it.
Oh, if we miss a Sunday, my husband Craig loses it. He's like, I can't believe we missed ramen night. What are they going to think? They're going to know because when we go up there, they're like, let me guess, you want your beef cut up? Because I make them cut up my beef. I'm so bougie when it comes. But see, I eat out, but I'm particular. So my meat's got to be cut right. The ramen's got to be just right. I'm picky.
That's all good. Don't
But
worry
you can't
about
be
it.
picky through Jack in the Box. See,
I'm not
that's the
picky
difference.
anymore. I used to be a little picky. My brothers are picky, super picky eaters. My mom says it all the time, but I don't know. Just bring it how it comes. And if I
Yeah.
don't like it, I'll move it around.
My big
I don't know.
brother, he's partial to AM PM foods, and it freaks me out. Like
They're double cheeseburgers with mustard
Stop,
on them.
Stop! Because when
You're making me hungry. We're done talking about food. We're moving on.
Where are we going for dinner?
AM PM sounds great. Let's go. I'm buying.
I'll take you to 7-Eleven, honey. Let's go. You know their taquitos are bomb, though. I'm not going to lie. Okay, and we're done.
The ones that roll on the thing. Yeah. Right next to the hot dogs.
Right next to the register when you're paying, and you can't avoid them because
Can I get 2 of
Can I
those?
get 2 of the steak and cheese? Oh my! I can't. I'm hot. You guys are making me sweat.
Calm down. Hey, remember Wusa?
Oh, wusa.
Remember?
They're called like
Bring it
torpedoes or something. I'm going to text you later with my torpedo.
Damn it. I don't want 99-cent AM PM food, but it sounds so good now.
It sounds so good with an icy.
All right. Now we're going to get serious. I know it's hard for us, but we're going to get serious.
Okay.
Well,
There's a big
well, should we get
election
serious?
coming up.
Yeah, no, this is the big start.
Serious stuff.
So here's what we got going on. We have 3 weeks of this. We have 6 candidates running. We have 5 candidates confirmed to be on the show. We have one sitting right here that I'm going to introduce in just 1 minute, but I want to give everybody kind of the breakdown of what's going on. We have one candidate who has refused to come on the show.
Too bad for him.
Yeah, not really sure why. This is a great forum to get your voice heard. And
We won't bite unless you say to.
yeah, no. No, we're neutral parties here trying to help the candidates get their message out to the citizens here so we can all make an
Make Canyon
educated
Lake a better
vote.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so we can just get an educated vote.
Yeah.
At any rate, there's only 5. One of them has declined. Was it Carl Gardner, I think. I don't have his name written down. Anyways, he's not going to be on the show, so we only have 5 to work with. We have already put out the questions to Renee here, and they're going out to all the other candidates. So after this show, you're going to see 2 more Fridays worth of shows that have 2 of the candidates on it. Each candidate has about 45 minutes allotted on the show, right? Our shows typically run about an hour and a half. They all are going to be asked the same exact 10 questions without prompting from us, without anything from us, any influence from us. We're going to hear their raw answers. They don't have time to, sit around and respond.
Think about the words that they use. Yeah,
by
all
writing
that
and
stuff. Yeah.
maybe send it to a professional
Right.
writer to help them write a
Right.
response. Right. We did give them the questions in advance, so they had some time to prepare. We aren't interested in making
Putting someone in a corner and yeah.
Yeah, like we're gonna ask the tough questions, and if we're dissatisfied, we're gonna pipe up, and we're gonna it may get a little colorful.
It could.
It could.
Good.
But that's not really our whole goal.
No, we're neutral. We're just here for you guys to let your voice be heard. What you
But we also
see.
we're normal people, and we don't like the political jargon and the nonsense and the BS.
Yeah.
So I think that we could represent the populace at large in Canyon Lake, because we are part of the populace at large.
100%. If anybody is, we have been here for years, JJ. So we
especially in a time that's critical.
100%.
Like, honestly, I don't have any personal problems with anybody who's on the POA board now, but I do have to say that I'm pretty damn disappointed in some of the overreach and some of the stuff that I'm seeing.
Definitely.
But I also know that they have people to serve too. So I try to be understanding, and I try to walk a mile in everybody's shoes.
Right. So do I. Same.
You know what I mean?
Same.
But it's not the same place as what it was when I was a kid.
No.
And I'd like to see it go back to that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it being more of a happy place instead of people arguing over flags and arguing over this and arguing over that. I think everybody should just listen to what their mom always told them.
Right.
You don't have anything nice to say.
Don't say anything at all.
Don't say shit.
Seriously, though.
That's what my mom said.
That's what Bambi said, right? Wasn't
Right.
that where that came from?
I think
have,
so,
Yeah,
actually.
if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing. I think it was Thumper's mom or Bambi's mom, one of the two. Bambi's mom got shot, but Thumper's mom, I think, said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And I live by that rule. I really, really live by that
You
rule.
women have the best memory.
You know what? I have a horrible memory. I just like a lot of
As soon as you brought it up, I was like, yes, I think so. But I think Facebook or somebody might fact check.
Oh,
us
for
on
sure.
this,
They're
so.
going to for sure
Please
fact
do.
check
If
me.
we're
Please
wrong,
fact check me.
If we're wrong, we
Tell
apologize.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Right?
I like Bambi.
So, back to how this works. It's kind of like a quasi debate, but not really a debate. It's just your ability to come on visual media, which we're the only visual media in Canyon Lake at this point, and we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
And I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, and thanks
I think
for
it's long. I think it's long
accepting
overdue
us.
for the county, right? So this is really cool. It's the first time in history that we've had essentially televised
Right. Like
political debates for the POA, and we fully intend to do that for the city council down the road, and whatever else, whoever else needs us to help get their message out.
Yeah.
So, 10 questions. We're going to start with a 5 or 10 minute period about the candidates telling us about themselves. They're going to have 2 to 5 minutes to answer each question. We're really 2 to 3 minutes to answer each question, and then they're going to have an opportunity at the end to do a 1 to 3 minute summary or talk about something that maybe one of our questions didn't address, what they want to get out, right? If there's an additional point. But the most important thing is all 10 of these questions, me and Heather didn't even fucking touch. Like, we didn't even
I didn't write
them.
these.
No.
I promise I am not smart enough to write all these.
We put out a
these
post
are good questions.
on open discussion on the POA open discussion, I think the Facebook group is.
Yeah.
I think we got almost 200
So
comments.
I was so shocked with how many comments we got. People are really
lit up
into this year, and especially with the whole
I'm
COVID
lit
thing, the flag thing. I mean, I told you, I fell into that parade that day, and it felt like I was in a gang. Like, we were parading up there, like it was a force, and I was so proud to be a part of that.
Well, I think
So
just
cool.
I think just in the last year or two, we've gone from like $259 a month to $290 a month in POA dues.
Yep.
Some people are up in arms about that.
Yep. Well, if you
know.
bring money in the situation, people are going to get a little testy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways of looking at that. But that's how this works. All the candidates had the questions presented to them before their interview, so they had some time to prepare. So take that into account. I think that's it.
Yep.
Anything else to add to that?
Without further ado.
So we present our first POA board candidate, Renee Griffiths.
Welcome.
Hello.
Renee Griffiths, everyone.
Hello.
We're very, very, very excited to have you.
Thank you. I went visual when you're talking about Urban Eatery because I love their chocolate chip raspberry pancakes.
What?
Wait,
What?
wait,
I mean,
what?
it was a special,
Wait,
but it was
stop.
so
Hold
good.
on. When was this? Because I know about the s'mores
Might have
jar.
been a Saturday or Sunday morning. Out of
Was
I'm
it
not
a
sure.
Valentine's special?
That sounds
No,
delicious.
Sounds
no, it was just it was on the
amazing.
chalkboard. I'm like
That one. You know, they're really cool about making stuff that they put on that board too. Like, again, they're like, oh, it was a special, but
It
we'll
was
make
so
it
good.
for you.
So
But
good.
we'll make it for you, right?
And I was by myself, so it was all good because I just ate everything. It was, no
What were they?
judgment.
Raspberry and what?
Chocolate chips.
Oh
Chocolate
my
chip and
God.
raspberry.
Yeah. And then you ask for whipped cream.
Can we have them put that
Delish.
on the menu permanently?
So we know that you love chocolate chip and raspberries.
Yes, we
probably just like most of us.
Oh, good.
And pancakes.
And you live near me, which is really
Yay.
cool. We're neighbors.
Vote for
I
me
like
who
that.
love chocolate. Just
I'm in.
sorry.
I'm in.
She
This
said
is
food.
serious.
She
No,
said
I'm
food.
sorry.
I'm
I'm
in. She said food. So,
I'm in too.
that's all I heard.
So, as the I don't want to call them rules because they aren't rules, but I want to keep it as fair as possible
Yeah.
for everybody. The beginning of speaking with each candidate is allotted for about 5 to 10 minutes to discuss who you are, where you came from, how long you lived in the lake, what committees you're involved with, how you're involved with the community, and just really just about yourself.
All the things. We want to know
Yeah.
everything. We,
We
want to
just wanna
stalk
know
you for just a second.
We want to know who Renee Griffiths
Like
is.
date of conception,
Yeah,
because I'm
can
not sure of that.
Yeah, I
Like,
kind of
like
want to
date of
know
birth.
all of it.
I have to do some
Stalking.
quick math, and that's difficult for me, which is kind of
Oh, no,
scary.
yeah.
All right.
I could plug it in my loan origination software and it just pops out dates. I got it.
I'll give my social, and you can look at everything.
Yeah,
and you
perfect.
can really
Give
know
it to me. I got it.
Well, my name's, as you know, Renee Griffiths. I'm married to Mark. We've been married, it'll be 25 years in August. So while I thought I used to call myself an old married couple, I've met some amazing married couples here who judge me because they've been married 60, 70 years, and they're
Yeah.
phenomenal people here in the lake.
That's awesome.
We moved here, it'll be 4 years in August. I'm a newbie. That's how I got into that little newbie group. I was very excited about that. What brought us here, we were looking for a change of pace. We lived in Costa Mesa. And
Nice place.
I love
yeah,
Costa Mesa.
I didn't even know Canyon Lake existed.
Yeah, a
Most
lot of
people
people
don't.
Had no
This is SoCal's
idea.
best kept
And we were
secret.
looking, we have friends in Marietta, and we were looking around, and I just couldn't grasp anything where it felt good enough, because I already had friends going, why would you move to the Inland Empire? So looking around, and then I'm a financial planner. I have that in there. It's my brain's always thinking about the cost. You need to have a pool.
Yeah.
I know pools during summer are going to cost $400 to $500 a month just from an electrical standpoint. And
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, just balancing out. And then someone said, well, what about Canyon Lake? And then I just did the math looking at the dues and the access to the pool, not even looking at all the other amenities. I'm like, well, that's cheaper than having my own pool. And I don't have to bitch at my husband, like, why didn't you clean the pool? So that was one of the
actually
reasons why I brought us here. And then everything else was super phenomenal.
Yeah.
Great neighbors. As you're going to meet some
I'm
fabulous ones. I'm very excited about
Super
that.
excited.
That's all I've experienced is just, I have a dog, I have a boat. We golf twice, or I golf twice a year when my dad's visiting. I played tennis once. I don't know how to play tennis, so I injured my elbow because I'm stupid.
That's not stupid. That's fine. I like playing tennis.
I was
too.
having a great time. I was hitting over the fence, and then the next day I'm brushing my teeth like I couldn't.
Ow.
It was awful. I was like, yeah, I'm not brilliant at that. So from a committee perspective, I'm on the finance committee because I love numbers. I'm one of those people, probably like you guys,
Yeah, we love numbers too.
Love
Oh,
numbers.
yeah.
I love to scrutinize and analyze and figure out ways to save money. I'm always looking for, as I was telling other people, I'm always looking at documents trying to find what are they hiding.
Yeah.
Financial
love it.
planning world, I've seen some awful things happen to people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I've read the story, so I'm always like, how are they? What are you trying to get away with?
Yeah.
We deal
yeah.
with
And I'm not saying
We
they're
deal with
trying to
all
do
the
that
time.
here, but when you see stuff, that's always just in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Because it can be really awful. So I've enjoyed that for the last 2 years. I was part of, there was a subcommittee with the facility planning committee and some people from the finance committee. This is all boring stuff, but we looked at the 5-year budget. And that was a great idea of one of our board members, because what happens is boards come in and they look, what are we going to do in the next 2 years? And as you know, when you're planning anything or even looking at retirement or looking
Barely
at the
scratch
future,
the
you got to go
surface, yeah.
beyond.
Yeah.
Because you could plan all these great things in 2 years, and then the next board comes in.
And it goes away.
And they're like, holy crap, there's this $4 million nugget that we need to hit or need to pay for, whatever that is. So that was a lot of fun, very eye-opening, by the way, of all the stuff that's coming up that needs to be done. The roads and
We have a lot of
whatnot.
commitments too to
Yeah.
pay for.
Absolutely.
I've heard.
So, and then also they mentioned with the yacht club coming up, I joined the yacht club last year. I saw their
Oh,
little
cool.
advertisement, best party on the water.
She's all
So
like,
this is a little plug for the yacht club, but
Please do.
It's-
I love the yacht
this
club.
is what was so much
You
fun.
guys put on the concerts, don't you? Is it the yacht club that puts those on? Or is
Not
it
the
POA?
concerts, it might be the guild. There's some other people who put on
Okay.
like the fabulous concerts. What we've done is we bring speakers out there. So they had an Eagles concert where they just played Eagles music, and
I remember
everyone
that
just
one.
ties
Yeah.
up their
Love the Eagles.
boats,
Yeah.
has a good time.
Yeah,
That's all
it's
it
so much fun.
That's so
and
cool.
that's all it is. And then coming from Orange County, nothing's better than going back and say, well, I'm part of the yacht club. Like, oh my God.
They have yachts there?
Yes, we do. 21 and a half feet. And I love playing, like our new neighbors who have moved in, I'm like, well, you should join it, but I don't know if you can afford it. And I know they can, by the way, but I'm like, oh, I just don't know. He's like, what is it? I'm like, it's $15 a month.
I mean, that's
He's
just,
like looking at me like a month. I'm like, no, a year.
I don't think I can handle that.
So I'm like, per person. But I'm really enjoying that.
That's good.
Per
Yeah.
person.
That's kind of it.
So you've been here 4 years.
4 years.
What's your husband do?
He is now an engineer with LA County.
Very cool.
He's been with LA County, I think 21 or 22 years.
An engineer?
Well, he was a firefighter first.
Oh,
and then he
he works
recently
for the fire
promoted. I think it's almost a year. It's going on a year.
So he's a
He
firefighter.
promoted to engineer. As you get older,
Yeah.
things start to break down, and you
Yes.
realize you don't want to be on the roof. I mean, he loves that stuff, but I'm actually quite happier that he's back by the engine.
Pumping.
Yeah,
That's a good deal.
yeah, I felt a lot better about that. So yeah,
That sounds
LA County,
great.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have a great family.
And you said you have a good fur baby too that you just got.
We have
too,
a
right?
great dog. We just adopted Duchess. She is a Mastiff Labrador.
I love
We
it.
weren't able to have kids, so we've adopted, in a sense, all our nieces and nephews. But when we lived in Costa Mesa, we always seemed to always be a niece or a nephew or someone's parent or brother living with us for a period of time for whatever reason, because our house was always open. And right now, it just seems like it's more of a Griffiths Recovery Center, as you know, some of the family members have had injuries or COVID, and we're like, come on in. Because I already had it.
You're
so
the
so we
open
do.
door in the neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
good.
dogs too. People know, like, if their dog's missing, they come to my house. They're like, oh.
Well, now I know. Now,
Oh,
now
yeah.
I know as a neighbor. I got 2 kids. If you want to borrow mine, anytime.
When I go on vacation, I'm gonna open her side gate and put my dogs in her backyard.
Right? I got
Oh,
a couple
no, it's fine.
dogs. Some
Sorry, my
things I
dog got
need.
lost in your backyard. I'll be home
Oh,
in
I've
2
had-
days.
I'll be home in a week. Can you
Well,
just watch him?
The best one is our neighbor, and I love it's a little pit bull. Her name is Chica. And when the Chica, because they come into the house, and I'm going to let them stay, and they hang out all day. And their 14-year-old said to the mom, she's like, isn't she getting rewarded? Aren't you going to punish her? It's like, you can't punish a dog after the fact. Like, you've been
Yeah.
hanging out. But
They don't understand.
I don't know. They just
Nope.
party.
They just have
Party
fun.
and
They
have
just
treats.
have a good
Right?
life.
Yeah. They live the life I wish I could.
Right?
I know.
Sometimes I wish I could live the life of my cat, but we all wish.
Oh, yeah. They have it good.
Have it real
yeah.
good.
Well, that feels like a really good introduction. Now it's
cool.
time to play hardball.
Are you ready for this?
You ready for hardball? We're going to
Sorta.
switch off questions. I have 5. Heather has 5. We want clear, concise answers. All of the voters have just hounded on me that they do not want people skirting questions. They want direct answers for everything. And this not only goes for you, but it goes for all of the candidates, right? Nothing to be intimidated about. But I want to make that clear that that's what the people want. Just
There's
so
no
it-
gun in my
just-
head.
Just so it's fair.
I can confirm that.
Yeah, you got
No gun
this.
in my head.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. I'll take the first one.
You go
All right.
for it.
I hope I don't have to look at my notes.
You're good.
All right.
All 10 of these questions were presented by the general public. They may have been, edited,
Reworded to make more-
or
yeah.
in some cases, we took 2 or 3 questions that were very, very similar, and we turned them into one.
There we go.
Okay.
Question number 1. Many POA members believe the POA has a problem with overspending on projects and certain proposed amenities. Do you believe that the POA overspends or not? And why do you believe that? And I can repeat the question. I know they're kind of long, but
No, I got that one.
okay.
I'm good.
Cool.
And a lot of where I'm fortunate enough just being on the finance committee, and I enjoy, because I am strange, I enjoy attending the board meetings. So I think there are some items that have been, well, even some of the proposed stuff for overspending. I've put this in my statement so everyone hopefully knows, and if you don't, please know the dog park is a great example.
Right.
Even though I have a large dog, all she wants to do is play fetch.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the fine work that went in. There's a facility planning committee. I mean, they worked hard to develop the look of this, but sometimes fashion over function can cost a lot of money. And I don't believe everything needs to be a Ritz-Carlton.
I
Yeah.
agree, yeah.
You know, Marriott Courtyards just work as well. So one of
Sure.
the things that I am very interested in seeing is, what does a $50,000 dog park look like? And then what does a $25,000 dog park look like?
Yeah.
Because it does need to be redone. There are a few things just from a dirt perspective. Maybe it needs to, whether it's all DG, I'm not sure. Let
Yeah.
the experts work on that. But I don't feel, in my opinion, that we should spend that much. As much as I love my dog, I don't feel that we should. Another example is, and this is where people really need to speak out and email the board versus just Facebook. And I put
Right,
that
right.
before too.
Yeah.
So I'll give you another example. When they added the pool building.
Okay.
Okay. So when that came up, I did research beforehand and looked at the tough sheds, because some of those tough sheds are really nice. They're custom, color matching, all that other stuff. Because if all we needed was storage, that was a great alternative, maybe 20,000 tops. But there was a certain look that they wanted to achieve. And I just felt, for me, and I spoke up at the board meeting, I gave the option of a tough shed, and their thoughts were, we want a place where people can relax for their 15-minute break. But we have a lodge right there that has air conditioning.
We have a beautiful
Maybe
lodge
we
there.
give them, and I didn't say this at the time, I was thinking recently, but you could have given them an extra 5 minutes from a break perspective. But all in all, we didn't need to spend, in my opinion, that much money at this time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a unanimous vote. It was a 3-2 vote. So there are other members who agreed with that. So those are items that I would have suggested no. Those are nice haves, not must haves.
Got it.
Or need to have. So those are things where we just need to slow down a bit or just think of alternatives.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
That's a
direct?
good question. Yeah, it's a good
Okay.
answer.
Yeah, it certainly does. So you do believe that POA overspends on some stuff?
She
Is
just
that-
wants
is
to be
that
more
true?
like economical
Just
with
to
the
tie
money,
into
right?
that question.
I think there are areas that is overspent. There's areas where we have to spend money and it is expensive. And I see that where you can't.
Updating existing stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But on
And
the new stuff, your
new stuff-
position is to look in a
Look
in
into
a-
Yeah, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but on one of the things I was looking at, oh my God, my watch chime, sorry. One of the things I was looking at, the new Sierra Park project, the North project.
Is that the pump track?
Well, we don't want to call it officially that because there are people who say we don't need a pump track, but it's a lot more than that. I've chatted with people and all they think it's a pump track.
Yeah.
And while it's a good portion of it is that there's workout areas, there's places for kids to play, there's barbecues. And I say that because I really want to get it approved.
I was going to say they need to say that because all I've seen is the pump track. Yeah.
And it's more than that. It's not a $2 million pump track. But there's certain
I feel like there's a lot of members who really, really want the pump track.
I do. I
The
just
board
didn't know if
does
it did
too.
anything else. Like because I have a daughter, so I would like it to have a little bit more things there. But my son wants the pump track, so I get it.
Yeah, so there's renderings out there, the drawings that are out there, which look like it's going to be a fun place, but we don't know how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And one of the things I had already emailed to the board is I noticed on the plans, they had plans for an electric charging station.
Oh.
So in my mind, I'm like,
Electric charges, like
for your vehicles, sorry,
Like for
vehicles,
Teslas and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first thought, and I emailed and asked, is who's sponsoring it?
Yeah.
Who's going to pay the electric bill?
Yeah.
Right.
So all that hadn't been worked out. Because the gentleman who designed this normally designs parks for municipalities,
Yeah,
and that's
big
normally
cities.
included.
Oh, and they would have that there. I get
right,
it.
but that's something that for me, if I'm on the board, and I hope whoever is on the board chooses not to move forward with that, because I don't feel that all of Canyon Lake should be paying for whatever that cost is. And then, as we all know, electricity is going up to pay to charge vehicles.
Yeah, no, I don't
So
think
it's little
that's fair.
things like that, and maybe we pare back on some of the trees to help reduce the cost. But
Yeah.
that's while it's getting into nitty gritty, those nitty gritty things
Add up. Yeah.
So does that
Perfect.
answer? I give
Totally.
answer
Yes,
with examples. I'm
uh,
not trying to.
No, yes, it does.
100%.
Okay,
Very
good.
good. Next question.
All right,
Heather.
I'm up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Many POA members believe they should have a vote or a say in decisions made by the board. Do you agree? And if so, how will you implement a system that will allow members to be involved in decision making regarding rules and spending?
Okay. Well, the answer is yes, and I feel they already have that opportunity. And they have that by electing board members that are going to represent them best. So that's why I am so glad everyone's interested. And not that I wanted these fire issues to come up.
Right.
But it gets a lot more people interested in this election than ever before. And it's important that everyone knows who's running because they are making the tough decisions.
Yeah.
And decisions that are going to,
Affect
eventually
all of us, yeah.
impact the wallet
Yeah.
or the way of life. So with that, attending the board meetings, so that when the board meetings come up, those decisions aren't just made right away.
Right.
And I would love for more people to, whether it's emailing the board or attending the meetings. I would have been so excited if there were 100 people attending that meeting saying, don't spend $85,000 to $100,000 on a pool building right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're all, especially back then, a lot of people were struggling. So maybe it's not the time to spend a lot of money because if we didn't spend it, that means that's less we have to put in the reserves for the future. Or we
Right.
could have used that money for another project that was coming up.
Right.
So those are the things where we do have a voice, and I just want people to use it more. And unfortunately, what I see is people voice it on Facebook,
Yeah.
but they never get around. And I understand people can't attend a meeting, although it's
Yeah.
easier
You
on
got to get it to
Zoom
the
now.
right people.
But just, well, there's the board at Canyon Lake.
Yeah.
POA.com, I think, is the email address. But just make your voices heard at that level as
Yeah.
well.
Do you think there's somewhere where we could bridge the gap between Facebook and people having to take time out of their day from, coming home from a long day's work, taking care of their kids, making sure there's food on the table, and then, oh yeah, here I need to get a babysitter so I can run up to this POA board meeting and make sure I yell and scream at people if they're doing something that I don't like.
Are they all on Zoom?
Right now they're on Zoom. I would hope,
Would
and
it
whether
continue
it's
on
me
Zoom?
on the
'Cause that would
board,
be a nice
Yeah, I would
bridge.
watch it
Yeah.
from Zoom.
and that's
Sure.
where whether it's me on the board or whoever is elected, I would strongly encourage them.
Yeah.
And I think the people should encourage them.
Yeah.
That continues, because you might even have people who are just still driving home, whether
Right.
they're in San Diego or
Just
Orange
listening
County.
to it.
So at least they can listen in, whether it's Facebook Live or Zoom, and they can make their voice heard.
Yeah.
And again, beforehand, they can always email the board.
Right.
And they're responsive in that. And sometimes the emails go directly to the general manager, and he can respond back to you as well. But I think we should.
So
move
what's
forward in that.
your direct response, yes or no, as to what you think about how Canyon Lake members of the POA, should they be involved, and should their voices be heard on every little issue that they think it should be heard, yes or no?
Well, every little issue, I would go no, because that gets mundane
Not little,
for them.
but
Certainly big projects, yes.
Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
If there was an issue, a spending issue that would increase dues, and I don't want to make this unfair, ask additional questions
Yeah,
or
I'm
reword
good with
it,
that.
but would you take into account what the people are saying rather than what you think should be done?
Yes, I would. But I also, and not but I'll say, well, no, but I also think the board should be operating in a fashion where you're not spending like a government.
Okay.
I'm not trying
Yeah.
to pick on
Okay.
government or
I get
city,
it.
And there's
but
some
my
more
whole
questions
thing
that are
is
gonna
like,
address
this
some
is
of
a
those
city,
too.
not a government. So we don't spend saying we're going to spend what we have because we'll get more next year, or we
see.
can raise it more next year. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to have to, because the new reserve study's coming in. And we'll get into that with property. There's a reserve study that's done every 3 years.
Okay.
And it's required that this be done every 3 years. And it lets us know, the POA know, how much we should have in a reserve to be fully funded. And from there, it grades down. So we would never be 100% fully funded, because that would be ridiculous.
Right.
Because we're looking 25 years out. And no
Yeah.
homeowner today should pay for what might be needed to be repaired, or what needs to be repaired in
25
25
years.
years. It's not
Yeah.
fair, right?
Yep.
Some people won't be here. But what we don't want to do is, there's a level currently, it's at 30%, that anything below 30% is considered weak. And as you know, being in the realtor market, if it's below, or if it's at weak, you have to disclose, which means home values go down. Because if someone's going to move into an HOA or POA where the reserve is at weak, you know that things are going to start to go up. So one of the things we were talking about in the 5-year study, we always want to make sure that a reserve is at least, even if it's a percentage point, I don't care. But I don't want anyone ever to have the realtor say we're at weak. And now the values go down. So we have to balance that out. So that's where, coming into the board, you just look at how much are we going to spend maybe in capital improvements, because we know we need to put a lot more into the reserve. If required, we're going to find out mid-April. So those are kind of all the little things that go on the back that's not fun and fancy. We also talk about road reserves is another big thing they talk about as well. So it's a yes/no answer
Perfect.
depending.
Yeah, no.
But I think the board should act as, my mindset, because I'm also, aside from, I'm a certified financial planner, and not that I have fiduciary responsibility to everyone out there, but any client you do.
Yeah.
So that's how my mind always works. You always
Yes.
have to do whatever is in the best interest of the client. And while the members wouldn't be my client, but
It kind of
it
feels like
is
that way. Yeah, I
right?
get it.
Because they're putting
It
their
totally is.
trust
Yeah.
right? But I'm talking from a legal aspect, from
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
can
no,
you
I
sue
know.
me, right? But they're putting their trust in whoever they elect to act as a fiduciary in a sense to do the best thing for them and their
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Time's up on that.
Sorry.
one. No. You're
Part
good.
Italian, I
You're
talk
fine.
forever.
I like to talk to
Just
you.
edit,
Me and-
edit.
It's hard to shut me and Heather.
Right?
Oh, I held back. I'm like, it's not my show.
Next question, and some of these may sound a little bit similar, but just try
Okay.
and
Yeah.
answer them the best you can.
Yes, sir.
Are you in favor of increasing or decreasing POA dues? And how do you support your position on how or why dues should increase or decrease?
Okay. It's weird to say if I'm in favor of increasing.
Right?
I know they're going to increase. Sorry.
For anybody out there, sorry to spoiler alert.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to, trust me, I'm one where I'd love for people to be able to save money and put it into a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA instead
Something
of
else.
Yeah, something else, or a good bottle of wine.
Right.
But they are going to naturally increase just from simple cost of living expenses. We already have, and anyone can access this information. We know what our 5-year lake lease is. That goes up every year.
Mm-hmm.
We have our contract with our new security team. We know how much that's going to go up. I mean, that's set in stone, so there's no surprises there. We know electricity is going to go up and water is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So we know those things are going to go up, and we also know income or wages are going to go up.
Yeah.
So we know that's going to happen. The best way to balance it is, and that's one of the reasons I encourage people to please eat out of restaurants, because we can,
Yes.
currently we're subsidizing to both restaurants, which includes the Lighthouse for events,
I knew
where
I was
people
doing
can
a good
host
thing.
events.
And the Lighthouse and the
Yeah.
Country Club have just absolutely knockout food.
I eat
don't
there almost
know-
every day.
and their
so
their prices are super reasonable. I don't know why more people aren't eating
know.
at
the
the Country Club.
Lighthouse
And
is so
ordering out.
cheap.
I know.
So cheap. I have a full dinner there with my family for under $50, no problem.
You
So
can
if
get
you want your
burger-
POA's dues to go down,
Yeah.
Go eat at the Lighthouse.
Yeah.
What are you
eat
doing?
at POA subsidized places.
Yes.
Well, and
pretty gigantic.
talking about prices, I mean, Carl's Jr. is expensive for a meal. It's like you can get a delicious hamburger and fries.
Go to
at the
spaghetti night on
Lighthouse.
Wednesday.
Same price or
So
less.
good.
They have spaghetti night. They have Taco Tuesday. They have. It's so bad that I know all this. Thursday's
Rattle off
tri-tip
the menu,
day.
girl.
Friday, I swear to you,
They have-
Thursday's
they have-
tri-tip
They
day.
have the most delicious chicken wraps I've
Oh,
ever had.
but they're tri-tip on Thursdays and they're spaghetti on Wednesdays, and it's like $9.
All right,
I'm
let's-
addicted to the fries. So
Let's do
so with
something that we don't know how to do. Let's stay on track.
Okay, so with that, but so currently for both, we're subsidizing. It's a little bit over $400,000. So if we
Yearly,
can
right?
yearly,
Yeah.
Whoa,
which
yeah.
has gone down dramatically. And I was looking when I was, I've only been on the finance committee 2 years. I'm looking at these numbers, going, oh my gosh. And then they start telling me stories of what it used to be. And I was like, holy crap.
Wow.
So the finance committee, everyone's done a really good job. Even the managers there, they've done a really good job making things better. We just need more people there. So that certainly. Now I lost track of the question. Shoot.
No, I'll rephrase it.
Oh,
for
thank
No
you.
problem. Yeah. Are you in favor of increasing or decreasing POA dues?
Okay.
And how do you support your position on why they should go up or
Yeah,
down?
they are.
And
Yeah.
I actually have a follow-up question
Okay.
to this, if you don't mind
No, go.
taking the next question. POA members' number one concern is their home's value,
Yeah.
right? I didn't poll anybody for that, but I would imagine everybody's number one concern is how much
Their home's
Yeah.
worth. Yeah.
they're right, and they want it to continue to increase, including myself. Do you believe that increasing dues helps increase or decrease members' property value, and why?
I believe if the dues are increased to better the community, then it increases property value. And I say that from the perspective of if dues are used when they're replacing a park, or Holiday Harbor is a great example, and that new playground that's coming in, that makes our community better. And I wish I were 12 years old, although if my butt gets smaller, I'd love to go down that slide, right? Because it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is really
So things
No,
like
yeah, it's
that,
a
we
beautiful
need
place.
to keep up. We don't want to be a community that's 50 years old and looks 50 years old, but we have to do it wisely. We have to do it efficiently and maybe at a slower pace. So I'll give you the example when they were showing the full lodge remodel, the restaurant. It looks amazing. Should we do it right now?
Yeah, probably
No.
not right now.
We don't have the money for that.
Hang on, time out. They're talking about remodeling the lodge.
That was one of
Do you know how many times we've remodeled the lodge?
That's
A million.
and that's why
Do you know
I
how
love.
beautiful the lodge is right now?
Gorgeous. There's no remodeling needed. On
And
the
this
lodge.
wasn't a board idea.
I don't
This-
want to add
okay,
commentary to it. I want to stick to the
but that was,
questions.
and I'm just saying that wasn't a
Yeah.
board idea that said we want to remodel the lodge. That was something that came up because
Sounds like
initially,
they're bored and trying to find things to do.
but it wasn't from the board. From best that I know, one of the things that was suggested, and I think is still a good idea, and I put it in one of my statements, is adding a new patio out there because
Yep.
it would be great when we host weddings and different
Huge
events
patio.
like that. Huge patio. And in the drawings of that, they were talking about removing some of the trees. So when you're at that new patio, you can actually look on the lake.
Oh, that would
because
be
the trees block it. So
amazing.
how
Yeah.
beautiful would that be?
That
So
would be
those are
beautiful.
things where let's just focus on that little nugget, which was a great idea brought up by the board, versus the patio that expands into a whole remodel of the lodge.
You
So those are
know,
things
yeah.
where we need to slow down. We need to focus on some of the ideas that were already presented by some board members.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're going to say names, but it was a brilliant idea, and I like it. I already lost track of my question.
No, you just answered the question.
Okay, good.
really.
Just so you think it'll increase home values. Do you think
yeah.
it decreases or increases if we increase the proper or the homeowners association dues? Does it increase the value of the homes?
I think it increases the values of home as long as we can show where that money is spent. If we're spending money for the sake of we have it and spend it,
Yeah.
then that, like if we use money to make a statue to pay homage to whatever, and it was $20,000, is someone coming in to buy the house? I'm like, oh my God, if you're spending money on that, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're not doing that, by the way. There are no statues in there, but it's just so it has to be spent smartly.
Got it.
And anything you
Yeah.
spend has to improve the community, but there's got to be a balance.
I understand what yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of the
gotta be a
question.
balance.
Is, like how much more could POA spending do to actually really truly
Because what
increase-
appraisers like that park over there really
Oh
makes
yeah,
your
you get
value
another
go
20
up.
G's, like
I deal with appraisers daily. I promise you, they don't give a rat's butt about
Right.
your park. I promise they just don't. But I get what you're saying.
They kind of do, but they don't
They
directly.
kind of do, but
yeah.
they don't. They kind of do, but they don't.
But the people coming in and what they're willing to pay.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
They look at that.
That part.
And for me, sounds silly, but when I was looking at should we go into Canyon Lake, I've never paid an HOA or POA or any
Right.
other fee other than my mortgage because I'm like, if I can't write it off,
I don't want to. I don't
I don't
want
want to spend my money.
I'm out.
But what attracted me, aside from the pool, and I already went over that, but there was a
Beautiful
dog
pool.
park. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I'd really like this is kind of off topic.
Yeah.
It's not off topic.
King and,
It's about
king and
it's
queen
about
of
the-
staying on topic
We're
over
family
here.
Yeah, right. No, it's about the dog parks.
Yes.
I would really, really, really love to see if we're gonna spend $100G, right? We could go buy a really nice Bentley for that. By the way,
A really nice.
but anyways, if we're to spend Bentley money on a dog park, I want the dog swimming in the goddamn lake.
Thank you.
Period.
Well, what?
Somewhere.
Okay.
I haven't
That should have
identified
been-
where that
should
should
have been
be.
a question in here. I should have made my own. I'm gonna add that in. Can my dog swim in the lake?
I don't want an official answer to this
No, I
because
can
we
give you
aren't.
an
We are
official
not.
answer.
We're not asking this question
No.
to every
No,
candidate. So
we're
that's
not.
that's just.
But
my
I actually have an
point of
official
view.
answer because
Give it.
No, I was
right.
at
Go ahead.
this was at one of the board meetings. Darcy, I think it's Darcy Burke who's our liaison for the Lake Elsinore Valley Water District, whatever the official name is.
EVMWD.
Oh, thank you. I can't even say it like that. I'm like Element of P.
Love those guys.
For Element of P. But she explained, she was talking to everyone just in her normal briefing that it's their decision. And they said
Yeah.
it's a California thing.
Oh yeah.
That dogs are-
so I need to
Yeah.
go
And I
down to
felt
the EVMWD.
better.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes me feel way better. So
Because
now
I
I'm
was
not
kind
yelling
of
at
like,
anybody.
not that my dog would ever jump off the boat, but
mine
walking
does.
into the water,
Well, like if
that
we're
would
gonna,
be a good thing.
Mine
if we're
dives
gonna have
in.
knockdown, drag out, divisive fights over a fucking flag, maybe we could fight for our dogs.
I agreed.
Well, and I
That's all I'm
saw
saying.
one person once, they had their dog on the lily pad. I'm like, technically, they're not in,
In
the
the
water.
water.
They're walking on water.
Right?
Just
Well,
saying.
It's a Jesus dog.
Everybody knows my big old white husky and knows that I go down by there's a dog park on Gray Fox.
Yeah.
And he just dives right in. I can't stop him.
Well, see, back
bigger than me.
before they, vehemently kept us out of the BLM lands, which surround Canyon Lake.
My hiking areas.
That's where we used to take our dogs to swim in the lake.
And now.
And it's all gone.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't
You
either.
can't drive back
Anyways.
there. And
Oh, no. Actually, Canyon Lake Code Enforcement patrols back there. If you look at the podcast with both the mayor and the mayor pro tem, we addressed it in there.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I disagree with it. It's not that I don't like the city or the mayor pro tem or anything else, but I do not think that code enforcement should be patrolling BLM land, period, the end. And I do not think that they should be locking us out of there by vehicle. So basically,
I agree with that.
it's still open to us, but foot only.
well,
I
where
don't
I
like it.
have an issue,
Anyways.
and this is just from a budget perspective. Why is our community patrol paying for that? Why are we paying for our community patrol to
That's
do
a
that?
city question. I want to stay on top.
Okay.
You know,
If we're gonna go back and forth,
that's-
city
that's-
PR.
But those are like little
that's
things
fine.
like,
That's-
I need to
that-
check that out.
All right, I'll
If
wrap.
it's our
I'll
dollars.
get us
Okay.
back on track.
ahead.
Don't worry.
Please
All right.
do.
Do you believe you have the ability to represent the entire community with a neutrally and not based on your personal opinions or pander to specific groups, clubs, or friends? So do you believe you have the ability to represent this entire community neutrally?
I absolutely do. My only challenge, if there was a wine and chocolate club,
She'd be partial to
but
that.
I mean, that's, one time we were in a finance committee meeting and someone was like, oh, but it's all golfers making the decision. I'm like, I golf twice a year and I have SpongeBob golf balls, which you can't find anymore. So I use emoji golf balls. So like if any golfer that's looking at a poop emoji with eyes looking back at you, I don't want to call myself a golfer.
I think you're a golfer.
so
I'd
much
golf
fun.
with you.
My 11-year-old likes to golf, and I bought him a bunch of those golf balls.
Yeah,
Too.
they used to have SpongeBobs. They were amazing.
The
Now you
SpongeBob
need
ones.
those.
That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about. The
recently?
yellow ones with SpongeBob. No.
Oh,
It's been
okay.
years and years.
I got all
but we
I need
still,
them from
but we
emoji.
still have some. They're for sale.
Oh,
$20 each.
that's how much they were on eBay. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Are they really?
I looked.
Remember, she's
but
a
I lose them
numbers
all the
gal.
time,
She
so
said,
I'm
"I
like,
don't
it
screw
doesn't
your
make
$20."
sense. Like if I knew where my balls went, then that would be fine. I don't.
I just
I'm not good.
If you
But-
find a SpongeBob one out there, it's
definitely JJ's.
It might be TJ's. My
Oh my
son.
gosh,
Yeah,
I'd probably keep
maybe.
it though. Sorry.
I'm going to use that SpongeBob ball for our golf tournament.
Oh, that'd be amazing. So, but I absolutely do. I mean, maybe
Awesome.
that's a good thing about not living here so long. I don't know.
Yeah,
Enough
you're
to,
not deeply rooted into.
I can agree with that.
No,
And,
I can totally agree with it.
Because
Well,
me and JJ get pretty passionate about some of the things with Canyon Lake. Because some of the things remind us of home. It's like
is home
we
for
grew
you.
up here.
Yeah.
So some of the things when they take it away, me and JJ, whoa. You newbies, calm down. Because it's
Yeah.
like this is home.
I almost feel like I live in Texas.
You do?
Yeah, like
Canyon Lake, Texas.
Living in Canyon Lake, I almost feel like I'm in Texas, and I have a big sign that says "Don't California or Texas."
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Outside of that, I think you have another question.
Yes, I do.
actually.
Some members are calling for the Rules and Regulations Committee to be reinstated. What is your view on this matter?
I was excited about hearing that.
Can you explain to me what that is? So for the ones of us who don't know who they are.
Well, what I heard about it was ad hoc, meaning just when they needed a committee, they didn't have to convene it once a month.
Yeah.
But they would look over some rules that needed to be addressed. I would love to bring that back. You know, part of my role of what I did was there was this time where I did compliance. So that was all about rules and
Yeah.
regulations. So I enjoy that. I love the idea of people being able to, if there's a rule that's concerning or it's been identified of this is ridiculous, we don't need it anymore, that there would be a committee who can meet together, hash it out, and then present something to the board. Because I'm sure I read all the rules before I even put an offer in on the house, and there's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot that can be streamlined, and that's where we really need to grab from the members who have been here a long time,
And some of that happened.
medium,
Yeah.
and new.
Yes,
Like we need
absolutely.
Well, if
And
there's no
that's-
committee for that, who's regulating it? Nobody?
POA board.
I'll see. That's
and
I-
only
a
when
problem.
something comes up. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all these questions we got from the community members were more about local control, right? Which the city's huge about.
Yeah.
But like our version of local control, which means like we control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
We the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if you were to reinstate that? You'd stated that it's ad hoc, so it's when needed. When do you think that would be needed? Like as far as
Probably right away because
Would
it hasn't convened in a while. So I would think I would love.
well,
a
no,
group-
like for every other rule, or only like serious stuff like the fight for the flag stuff and the wake surfing stuff, or should it be like a normal, average, everyday thing where you take input from this group? Or would it be only for like the hot button issues that you would consider doing an emergency order for?
What I would hope is that individuals, as they look over the rules, would send an email to the board.
Yeah.
If there's a rule that concerns them, whether it's ridiculous now, out of date, it could be tweaked. Maybe it's ambiguous, and we need clarity around it. Like we just over that 3-hour discussion on the flag, you can go so many different ways on it. So we just need to bring clarity to it.
Yeah.
So if those emails are coming in, and that to me is what prompts it. So it really is member driven as to what the concerns are. And then that says, okay, well, now we need to go and have these people look at that role. But I want members to drive it.
Yeah.
Because
So
they're the
it'd be-
ones who are living
So it
with
almost
it as
become a POA
myself.
board filter at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As everything
run it,
should
run
be.
It, run it through the committee
Yeah.
and then bring it to us.
I think that's
Absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
I think it's
And all
really
these
cool.
committees, by the way, all these committees, except I think the one where, I forget the name, but where people are, I don't want to say contesting, but they've broken a rule and, it's those private meetings. I forget the name of that
Oh,
committee.
the
Rules and Regulation
Yeah.
Committee,
No.
There's
yeah.
a-
Me and my wife have been there.
I was
before.
like,
okay.
we should know the name of this,
been to
JJ.
that
We've
one.
definitely been there.
We got $1,000 fine for playing music on a Bluetooth speaker at 10:12 at night at the campgrounds, and it was the most appalling thing that I've ever seen or heard about. I've alluded to me being personally affected by security being having too much overreach on the citizens, and that's basically what I'm referring to. And we paid it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
Well, and that's, what's sad about that is if your neighbor's trying to sleep and your music's loud, what's wrong with the neighbor just
the
going
neighbors
up?
actually came over and defended us.
But I'm just
with
saying,
security.
so it was all security all the way.
And that's not fair. Yeah.
It was-
that's not.
I
They're
was
just.
going to say, like, if the neighbor called and didn't come over, that would be unfortunate. But
That
that's
episode
worse.
is one of the main driving factors that we're creating this voice here in Canyon Lake.
good.
And we spend so much time doing
$1,000.
this. Yeah.
That's insane.
You
and
didn't
when-
appeal.
when-
It's the
when-
appeals committee. You didn't appeal it, or you
we
did appeal it.
We did, and we got stuck.
Oh my gosh!
And it was a $500 fine per campsite, and we had
Two.
friends that we rented a campsite for, but it was one speaker collectively in one site. But since they asked me for
That's
my,
ridiculous.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm not going to mention this with everybody else, so I don't want to get super
Yeah.
deep into
Yeah,
it.
no.
So
But
with,
when I
yeah,
looked
wow.
at the camera several times, podcast after podcast, and told the POA I'm fucking pissed at them, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And not only that, they came down, told us to turn it off, went away, came back an hour and a half later with a supervisor and wrote us a ticket
Wow.
after the fact that it was done. Anyways, we're off the
Yeah,
subject. Let's get back on so
Wow.
the current POA board, the current security guard guys. This is my motivation right here. I will not stand for this shit in my community, and this is why I'm providing this forum. This is why I'm standing up. And pack your bags, guys.
You're out of here.
Pack them up.
gnarly fine.
It's
Anyways,
beyond. You want to go or you got me? You want me to
Did
go?
I answer
I'm
the
up.
question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You wanted to come back. The Rules and Regulations Committee. You
Okay.
did, yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm
so
not
yeah,
skirting anything.
you're for the rules and regs committee
I think it would be
to
a
come
great
back.
idea.
Yeah.
And by the way, if I'm not voted to be on the board, I would like to be on the committee.
There you go. I'm going to sign up for that
Like,
committee.
that
That sounds
would be
Rules
a
and
great
Regulations. It's
committee
a
to
great
be
committee
on.
to be on.
But it
I'll
has
be
to-
right there
but
with
you
you.
need a span of people. And I think sometimes that helps when you have the ad hoc because you can get people who are Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. workers can do it if it's once.
I can make time anytime.
Yeah.
for
Oh, we
my
can make time in our
community.
schedule
Yeah.
for sure.
Nice.
We have
We're pretty open.
Heather's boss is pretty cool.
As long as it's after
Gotta-
your shower and you've done two.
Got some great partners and bosses on my team. I think I'll be okay.
So let's get super serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get into the real deal here.
Yes.
The real deal. Okay. And we'll give you a little bit of extra time on this one because this is a tough one. Honestly, if I were running, I don't even know how I would solve this. This is a really tough question, and I feel for all of you guys. How do you plan to settle the flag dispute without violating the First Amendment and bring the community together on this issue? And do you agree or disagree with the emergency rule banning flags?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
And I'll repeat that. You can take
No,
it
I'm
in
good
sections.
with that. No, I'm good. Only because I've been watching all of it and listening
right.
to it.
Everyone
so,
has.
Yeah. So I'll start with, well, one, they didn't ban it, so that's good. It was a proposed rule that on that emergency meeting, and one of the members of the board said we need to hold. Oops, sorry,
You're good.
Oh, you're
You're
good.
good.
Yeah.
using my hands. But one of the members said we need to hold off, which was great, and the other members agreed that we need to hold off. So the good news is it wasn't a rule, and I thank God that the other board members saw it that way and didn't say, "My God, my goodness, this is an emergency," because they do have the authority, and they could have made it that emergency rule, which
Would have
been
hell.
awful, right? So some of the things
Well, and that's part of the question is,
Yeah.
do you agree if they were to enact the emergency rule to ban it? Do you agree or disagree with that?
I would have disagreed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Continue on.
Without
Sorry
a
to
doubt.
interrupt.
No, that's fine. Without a
wanted
doubt.
clarification.
Without a doubt. So with that, I'm glad some of the changes that they are making, it'll be interesting. Unfortunately, that 3-hour meeting, they brought up some of the items that another petition was saying, where they were saying we need to get rid of all flags except the United States flag and nothing on it. I try to lighten it up by just, I see things for flags with a dog, with a
Yeah.
flag. It's like, we can
We
go
have to have a flag on our golf
extremes.
carts. Have to. It's a rule.
An orange
Yeah.
one.
You have to.
Which
So one of the things that they're doing, because the current rule, before all this started, it's a political signs. Signs didn't mean flags. So now
Yeah.
they're incorporating the flags into that. So, and I get that with the fact that they're changing it now from political to election. So I say that where if this rule passes and you have a Trump 2020 flag,
It's got to come down.
they're saying it would have to come down because that's an election. So that falls in an election.
Do you agree with that?
You simply change it to an I Love Trump flag or Trump Forever.
do you agree with people infringing on our rights to fly any flags? Yes or no?
No,
Thank you.
no.
Okay.
Because this is where the slippery slope is.
Yes.
And there's a lot of slippery slopes. And we went over a lot of slippery slopes on that last meeting.
Because
But-
that also protects another nation's country flag.
Right. But
Right.
then we're
That-
talking about all flags, and I
All
know
flags.
the catalyst for the one group that sent emails because it made them feel they were not threatened, but it made them feel uncomfortable, or it made them feel
Life is
threatened.
uncomfortable.
But here's
Yeah.
the thing: so let's say that we accepted that 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Pepe Le Pew didn't make anyone feel
God.
uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
I sent you this.
But now
meme.
that makes people, for whatever, because some person wrote an article picking on Pepe Le Pew, and I love Pepe Le Pew.
It's some troll that
I know,
pulled
but it
something out of
blew everything
thin
up,
air and
right?
said, "Let me drop this
So
bomb
now,
and see how far I can ride this."
If I had a
pony."
Pepe Le Pew flag, you could have people rise up and say, "I find that offensive because you're
So
supporting
can I,
rapists."
can I
ridiculous.
can I have a Cardi B flag?
100%.
Can I have
Yes.
can I have a wet ass pussy flag?
Yes, if it said WAP, probably.
Sorry, I'm just being honest. I'm being real with y'all.
I'm getting.
I've
you
never
that
seen
flag.
that video. I don't ever want to see that video.
Getting you that flag.
But it's like it becomes that slippery slope. I don't want people to, in the community, I don't want anyone to ever feel intimidated. But
Yeah.
if that flag intimidates you, there's going to be a lot more that's going to intimidate you. And
Yeah.
I can
A
tell
lot
you
more.
one of the
This-
people that I hang
This
out
problem's
with.
just started.
Offended, intimidate. You better watch out because this is life. It's
Well, and I had someone rip my Trump flag down off my tree, so they came onto my property, and then I got another one and I chained it up there. But I could have been intimidated by that.
Yeah.
But I
well,
wasn't.
Of course, right?
But
you
it-
could have used that as a
yeah.
crutch to
Right.
make the argument that you're intimidated, that
Yeah,
somebody's
you're
coming
scared.
after
Someone's
you.
coming in my yard. I get
God
it.
forbid you
Yeah.
had ring footage. You could probably get a protective
It
order
didn't turn
against them.
on in time. I was so bummed. Thank God my husband wasn't there.
I was just
'cause he
driving
would've-
around the other day, and there's somebody flying a Black Lives Matter flag, which is
Yeah.
fine with me, right? First Amendment, I'm full supporter
Yeah.
of it, right? And they had, a vegan sticker, a rainbow flag sticker, And I'm not saying that I disagree with that or agree with
yeah.
it, but I was like, hey, look at this. Look at these people. Like, go
you.
Yeah, go you.
Good. Stand up for what you believe. For
Yeah,
sure.
You know, fully supportive.
100%.
I'm in here for you.
Yep.
I think it's a tough board decision. One of the things I put out there, and I put it out on Facebook, so it's official Facebook.
Official.
But if it is going to come down to where they're saying that we can't do that,
Super official.
super. Oh my God, you're
Super
funny.
official.
It should come down to a vote of the people, because here's a concern: the POA is a business,
Yes.
not a
Yeah.
government.
Yes.
If it comes to the vote of everyone, and they would have to phrase it properly, and you would need to work with both sides to make sure it's crystal clear on how, the language, so people can vote appropriately. But if you do that, now it's part of our bylaws, because
Yeah.
what I'm concerned with is every single election, and they're doing them every year, unless people change the terms. But every single year, we're going to have the same issue come up. Or you might have eventually 3 people who say, you know what, let's get rid of those flags.
Wow.
No.
So
It's never going to happen here.
But I'm just
I'll
saying,
tell
then
ya.
that starts another fight. Then that starts lawsuits.
No, it doesn't
and-
start a fight. I'll tell
No,
you.
I mean a fight with
there are
lawsuits.
so many
It's gonna start a riot
there are so many
in here.
red-blooded Americans in here. They're
It
gonna
will
go
start a
burn
riot.
the fucking POA
it
down.
literally will start a riot.
Straight up.
I just being living here as long as I have, I know my brothers and sisters in this city, and I know how they feel about this topic, and I know they will start a riot.
But it'd be so much easier then if it's in the bylaws. And it's just taken off the shelf. And the only way that can ever be changed is when the community votes for it to be changed.
I see.
So that would be something that I
Well,
would
we
want the
certainly
board to
have their
consider.
attention.
Yeah, we better certainly stand up for our flags if you guys want
Certainly have our attention.
that done.
Are you next?
Yeah, I
think
am.
You're next.
I feel like you kind of already answered this, but we'll ask it anyways. Many POA ran amenities run at financial loss, including the golf course and Lighthouse Restaurant. How do you plan to help them how do you plan to help make them cash flow neutral or cash flow positive? I guess the golf course and the Lighthouse. Yeah, you haven't answered this one.
Well, I haven't answered about the golf
No.
course, not at all. And the 2 restaurants, we really they are becoming more efficient, which is good. One of the things I was when we come as a finance committee,
Yeah.
it's a group of people, and the people have been on it for a long time. They're older, and their memories are better than mine. So
Yeah.
they're amazing in what they're able to do. And I was able to sit with a gentleman who because we sit with each group. So I sat with the golf managers, I sat with the restaurant managers, and with another colleague of mine in the finance committee, and especially in the restaurants, because that's his knowledge, especially. He's like, why did you spend a quarter there when you could have spent a nickel? But I'm just saying, that's how deep things get scrutinized on the budget. It is very detailed, and I'm not picking on him. I love him because of that.
Yeah.
And we go over things very thoroughly.
But restaurants, you have to have a chef. You have
have
to
to
put
have
out
a
good
chef.
stuff.
Right.
You have to have a nice place.
But one of the things that
No
we,
microwave food.
Every time I go in there, it's so beautiful.
It's
like
great.
yeah,
all of our food is
Everything's
so
fresh.
beautiful.
Well, and one of
we
the
have a
things-
chef at each place.
Yep.
yeah.
He puts out amazing stuff, and there's no.
And we
one
want to
there.
keep our
There's
chef
no
happy.
one there.
Isn't that sad?
There's no
I'm
one
there. What do you mean there's no one
but
there?
when
I'm
you
there.
No,
think of all the food they
that's what I'm
buy.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, they go into VIP or they going elsewhere, and that's cool too. Like local.
But when
It's
you look
cool,
at the
it's local,
cost of
but-
food, so you're buying the food in preparation.
Yeah.
And then when people don't show up, I don't think they're throwing it in the freezer.
Yep.
So you have to balance that. But the managers at the restaurant were real responsive in the sense of one of my thoughts is during the week when it's not that crowded at the Lighthouse specifically, is maybe we close off the restaurant so we don't have servers over there to help cut cost.
Yeah.
From a service perspective, maybe we do that and focus more on the bar area or where the money is. When COVID is over, because one of the things that the Lighthouse they were starting to do is have special nights with wine pairing dinners.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
They were already
That's a
starting to do
really
it,
good
and
idea.
someone else, and she could take credit. I'm not going to say her name, but she's like, "What about Whiskey Wednesdays?" I'm like,
Oh, with the
"Holy
pasta, yes,
crap."
spaghetti and
Or
whiskey
she was
night.
like barbecue with whiskey
I
pairing.
like those. I like those
So-
ideas, and let me tell you why. Like when you started off, you're talking about, cut the costs here, cut the costs there, cut a waiter here, cut a waitress here. There is no way to increase a business or grow
If
a
you take
business
things away.
by
Yeah.
cutting costs.
Yeah.
You have to figure out a way of generating new income.
Yeah.
And that's
That's a total
So that's
way.
one of the things where
That'll bring the community out like
you
Taco
could do-
Tuesday used to.
Oh my God, I love Taco
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Loved Taco
And then one of the
Tuesday.
things
Is it
when I
gonna
was talking
happen?
with the country club, because at the country club, ladies and gentlemen, your dogs are allowed on the patio.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's a huge patio.
Yeah.
That's
too.
a huge
Beautiful
thing.
patio.
I'm bringing my
So-
husky there.
Yeah.
And
So-
well, I
for
don't know
it.
if they're still doing this, but on Sundays when football's playing, they
Oh,
have
yeah.
stupid low prices.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Their stuff is
$2 beers, $2
Their
appetizers.
salad, everything
happy
is
hour is so
amazing.
cheap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Bartenders are awesome.
it's a beautiful
there.
place.
Yeah.
It's super chill, feels great.
Yeah.
Such
know?
a
Great
great
view.
view. Yeah, it's great views.
Great view.
Yeah.
Great view.
And one of the things I had suggested to them, and I stole this from a bar in Costa Mesa, they would have yappy hour.
That's smart.
So, and I put that on Facebook, and the manager agreed. It's not an official event because official events are not allowed due to COVID. So, like that little public broad. So it's not an official event, but it's
it's
one of
sort of
those things where
official.
they're going to have it on a specific date, which we're going to yappy hour on the 18th.
smart.
That sounds rad.
And they're going to
We
even
should
have
start a
little,
dog club.
like where you can have little rice and chicken for your dogs because there's certain restaurants where
Oh,
they
I
have
love that. Like
certain
dog-
winery-
yeah.
certain wineries,
Certain wineries
too
do that.
have a dog menu.
Yep.
So they're going to have stuff like that. But it was just a way to get like-minded people, drive business.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling, I'm hoping, once people go there and eat, they're going to like,
They're gonna
holy
keep
crap,
coming
this
back.
is delish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a Bloody Mary. You'll come back.
My mother and father-in-law drive in from LA just to go eat at the country club. They love
Really?
it.
Is it for the fries?
They love the fries and they love
Yeah, it's
love
great.
it. They love it.
PZA
Parmesan.
has the best fries.
Okay, I used to call it pizza. So when I was watching
No,
your thing,
the
I called it
urban
PZA. I'm like,
bacon fat fries. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
those are really, really
Hello.
good. Let me get back on track.
Yeah,
though.
okay,
Hang
we're
on.
really good
Time
at
out.
this.
Super good fries. How do you plan to settle the
Chef
flag
fries.
dispute without violating First Amendment? We've covered that.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got
You
one.
asked a question.
Yeah.
Did we just cover a question on
We
yours?
did.
Okay.
I have my last one. I don't know where
Did you
you're
want to
at.
talk
Yeah,
about
I'm-
the golf course?
I'm on the
or-
last one right now. Let me bring up
Okay.
another hot button issue here.
All right.
The North Ski Area,
Yeah.
in particular.
Yeah.
The North Ski Area is a common interest area. It's open to all dues paying POA members, yet the ski club has received a ruling from the board to only allow water skiers to use the front portion of that, even if the ski club is not using it. Would you have voted in favor of this? Yes or no? Pretty simple question.
So I'll answer that direct. Based upon what I know, I would not have voted for it.
Yeah.
And this is from the different meetings that I've attended. Because when it first started,
Weren't you out there on the...
yeah, I
out
did do
there the
that
other
too. I'd never been
weekend?
on the north
Yeah.
side too. But when this first started, and they were talking about erosion, and then when they had that specific meeting or the next meeting, they didn't.
Erosion?
Well, they were talking about erosion, but then
They're saying there's eroding the banks of
Yes.
the North Causeway?
Yeah.
Or the North
that
Ski
was a
area?
concern.
That's bullshit.
But I'm just saying that was so I don't know anything, so
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
listening, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hearing
I'm
this,
just throwing out my-
and I'm like, okay,
Don't mind
so
me.
I do some of my own independent research, and there's information out there. But what I found interesting and what disappointed me the most in this is when it was decided by the board. And I'm not sure who on the board specifically said this, but there were a group, I think they said 57 people who volunteered to be on the group that was going to discuss it. You know, the wake surfers and the skiers figure it out. And I really think they could have figured it out. But what unfortunately happened is the board felt because there were so many people that they were never come to a resolution. My thought is let's see.
Yeah, let
I
them
think
try
they
to
could
work it out.
figure it out
Yeah.
and work
What's
it
the
out.
big problem to begin with? I mean, they're citing
Well-
that docks are getting torn up from huge wakes. There's only 2 docks over on that side of the causeway. Like, now they're going to talk about dirt erosion.
Yeah.
I want to keep my personal beliefs out
Yeah,
of this.
so
but at the same time, like, we've been running huge fucking wakes through the North Causeway
forever.
my whole life. We've been filling up 1,500 gallons full of fat sacks in the back of a fucking wakeboard boat and going and doing the same exact thing.
Yep.
We're not chewing up the hills.
No.
We're not eroding. Like, you know, I'm sure they
We've been
did
doing it
special
for
studies and
years.
everything else.
Well,
I don't.
but there hasn't been. But here's the thing. Well, first of all, just to make sure everyone knows, right now the ban is just on wake surfing,
Yeah.
not wakeboarding, and all that other stuff.
they both produce the same thing.
But I
Huge
asked
wakes.
specifically, has there been complaints by You can say EVW.
EVMWD,
Yes.
Elemental PHA.
But that was my
Elsinore
concern because we
Valley.
are leasing it, so we have to respect that. There hasn't been any complaints.
Okay.
So that was my
Yeah,
first thing
that's a
because
good-
we
yeah,
want to make
that's a
sure we honor the lease. I don't
great
want to piss
point.
them off. And they're
Right.
like, nobody's on the lake.
Great
Oh,
point.
that would be a
So
good one.
there hasn't been any complaints.
Okay.
Okay. So that was one thing. But what did it for me, if I was a board member and I'm sitting there listening to it, and it was the very last meeting when they made the decision, what was presented, they didn't talk about erosion anymore. It never came up. And I did my research. I was waiting to hear more information. It wasn't talked about. They started talking about the docks. They showed
Yeah.
the buoy, the buoy, and that was discredited by.
Yeah.
And
All the
once I
buoys and stuff.
heard
Right.
that, because once I heard that, and I was telling you when I read stuff, oh crap,
Yeah.
sorry.
You're good.
Oh, you're fine.
In my mind, it's like, what else are they not telling the truth about?
Right.
Yeah.
Or when it was being presented by an individual, what else is he not telling us?
Right.
And that's what triggered it for me, because if you're presenting that this buoy was done by a wake surfing boat, and I'd never been on one, by the way,
Right.
but it was clearly a slice and it was pointed out. So that was one thing. Also, what helped me make my decision is there were individuals who spoke up, and I'm so sorry, I don't know everyone's name, one lady particularly who does multi-sports, and she didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
You had a gentleman who spoke up who owns a house and a dock over there, and he didn't have an issue
There
with
is
it.
like one or two private docks tucked in that little
But he
cove,
spoke on
depending
that.
yeah.
But that gentleman spoke, and he didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
If he spoke and said,
said,
I'm
"I have a
having to-
problem,"
I
yeah.
have a problem, and I'm having to spend X amount of dollars, then there's a
Yeah.
concern because I don't want a
So
homeowner.
who's is it just
It's just
outside members that are concerned with it?
well,
Because
no.
if it's
I
not
think-
directly
I think
affecting
the
them.
The number one thing is the slalom skiers, the ski
Okay.
club dudes. Like you can see, 5 to 10 boats tied up at any given time. On the
Yeah,
long dock,
yeah.
right? And you have the bigger wakes, and those it makes the boat do this against the dock.
I
right?
see.
And a lot of people leave their stuff unattended down there.
Oh, okay.
And they have time slots to go slalom ski. And I could be wrong. I'm
okay.
not right. I haven't
Okay.
been involved in this. I did a whole bunch of wakeboarding, and I was sponsored back when I was a kid
Yeah.
back in the
Ooh.
lake. But
Nice.
I haven't been down there for
A long time.
10, 20 years,
Yeah.
right? I don't know who's down there and what's going on, but
Well, and for me,
I think it might be that.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
these guys, they want the smallest wake possible. They don't
Yeah.
want the boats bumping into the
get it.
dock. They've got their things. They leave it unattended. They don't want a little scratch.
I see.
I don't know. I really don't know. But
I mean, I
that's all I
look
could
forward
figure.
to, like, one of the things I look forward to is a meeting with the ski club.
yeah.
To their board, because I want to hear, and this is with everything and anything, because I am new. I need to hear everybody and what they have to say. But I feel so strongly based upon what I've heard, even at the meetings, that they could work it out. And I think this goes with government or anything. It's like sometimes you need to step back.
Yeah.
Like people, it's almost like, and I don't have kids, but when kids are fighting, you're like, you know what, you
Just
two
let
work
them
it out,
handle it, yeah.
figure it out, and then versus a parent coming in
And putting down the law.
but if
yeah.
you have to,
You have to.
You got
Well, in the
to.
best interest of the community at large, like that's all the way back, probably a mile and a half. Mile to a mile and a half. I could be totally wrong, but I've been back there many, many times, especially when I was like a semi-pro wakeboarder back in the day, right?
awesome.
Like there's a whole bunch of lake behind that to be had too, and it's always kind of been like the ski clubs
Yeah.
thing. They keep it tight, but truly and honestly, it's a common interest area. And
Well, and it didn't come under the purview of Canyon Lake until 2017.
the North Ski
North Ski
area,
area.
or this side of the buoy,
North Ski area,
just period.
period.
Oh,
And that
that
gentleman,
buoy's been back there for 20 plus
I was like,
years.
that thing's been there
and
forever.
that wasn't, a gentleman brought that to my attention. He said, read the latest lake lease, the Fifth Amendment. And that's when we entered into an agreement with EVLMNOP, but Lake Elsinore Valley Water District.
LMNOP.
LMNOP,
I like that
I'm gonna
one.
have to call it that.
I'm with you.
But that's where we entered into an agreement, and now we lease that side. I gotta stop touching the table.
We lease the opposite side too, the
north.
river side.
No, just I'm saying the north,
Okay.
the
All
North
right.
Ski area.
Yeah,
So
okay. I'm with
when
you.
we talk about how
To-
it's always
back
been,
to the buoy, like a mile, like
And-
just past the slalom course. We now lease that. We now have legal rights to
Correct.
it. Okay. Cool.
So that's why one of the bigger issues that I heard from on the wake surfing side is because people talk about how it's always been, but we kind of just adopted that.
Yeah.
Versus, and now it's a real issue because it's under, we lease that.
Back to the question,
Yes,
though.
sir.
You're opposed to it?
I'm opposed to it. I really want.
Opposed to banning water sports back there, whatever they may be. It's already banned on the main lake. That's kind of the only space that Canyon Lakers have to go, do that kind of stuff. They're kind of regulated already, is what I'm saying.
Based upon the information I know now, I'm opposed to it. I was already leaning towards that when they made the decision.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden there's new information presented, or the gentleman has a dock, he's like,
there's
that's going to cost me 20 grand.
Legitimate damages
or
that we could be
happening,
liable for.
or people are getting injured or whatever, then
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay.
We went way over on that one.
The toughest last question.
No, my fault.
This is the toughest last question. It'll be fine. If elected, what are your top 3 priorities you plan to tackle in your first 100 days?
Oh my gosh. So then I wrote a list. I was so glad you guys asked that question.
Good one. Save the best for last.
Well, and I'll go real quick. So I like lists.
I like lists.
Lists too and stuff, especially checklists. So this is going to be the worst answer when I said it depends. So a lot of it depends. It depends on what happens with the flags. It depends if there's any opportunity for the ski club and the wake surfers to come to a mutual agreement of something that can be implemented.
Depends on current
if
events.
Nothing happens on that, then absolutely those are the things that need to be tackled.
We've got 2 minutes
right away
to sum this up.
Oh,
I'm
crap.
not trying to rush
Okay.
it, but
I want to look at alternative designs for the dog park because I do not want to spend $100 grand on it. It's beautiful, but I don't want to spend $100 grand. That freaks me out. If Sierra Park is not approved,
the north one,
Sierra Park North, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
If it is approved, I still want to look at ways to reduce costs. Maybe it could be, when we start seeing what those numbers are, it could be less trees. Trees are very expensive. Certainly getting rid of the electric car charging station. If it's not approved, I want to work with general manager and the board. We need to get the pump track portion of that done ASAP. That's got to be the first phase, which was originally approved for it to be in phase 1. And the current board pushed hard for that. So I want to do that. I want to review all upcoming capital improvement projects that are approved, nothing that we're committed to see can we reduce the spending somehow. Maybe it doesn't need to be Ritz-Carlton or a Bentley model, as you mentioned earlier.
Like
I want to look at the new study. The new 3-year reserve study should be out. We won't have the study for the roads until the lawsuit is over, which was delayed only due to COVID, not by any other reason. So that's it on a task list from a personal. Now it all comes to expectations and not my expectations for others. I need to know others' expectations for me. So I want to meet with all committees. There's 11 committees. There are currently 34, although I just heard about the Girl Scouts and brownies and stuff. But listed, there's 34 clubs and activity groups because that's the members. Right? So I want to hear from everyone. That's a great way for me right away to start hearing what's working, what's not working, what I need to keep my face out of, and what I need to put my face into and have those discussions. I certainly want to meet with staff, understand what their expectations are of me, see what I can do to help them, what the board can do. It's not all about me, but what the board can do to help them. I definitely want to have a suggestion box on our website because walking around, I gave you that one. That was from someone. I get so many great ideas from other people. Holy crap. People need a place where they can just click it and they can click anonymous.
That's great.
But there's so many brilliant ideas because there's so many brilliant people here. I put restart the Rules and Regulation Committee to update the rules and streamline things. And I really want to focus on bid transparency. That's my big thing. So one of the things in my opening statement was that I wanted the staff or whoever's in charge, I think it's the general manager, but when there's an upcoming bid, I want it on the Canyon Lake Facebook page, I want it on the website, on Instagram. And they just did that. So it can be done. But there's a lot of other bids that go unnoticed. Also, it's not even just projects, it's also who's handling, God, it could be anything, just not even projects, but for all the landscaping, not gardening, but all the landscaping. I sign up so I get all the bids and I don't see many coming in. So those are things that we need to be able to see. Everyone needs to be able to see what's coming up because they might know someone who could do it better, whether it's pest control, I don't know, but we need to have access to all of it. And then I want to implement where It's redundant because it's in my statement, but I want to know who's getting all the bids
Yeah.
and why. So if all of a sudden Sam Smith Insurance or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
is getting landscaping is
Yeah.
getting it every single time.
Yeah. Why?
Why is that?
Why?
And then I want to look at the other bids.
I get it.
Like, are you getting it by are they winning because it's $1 and why, so
yeah.
and I think competition brings reduction in prices. And I'm not saying we should always go with the cheapest,
Right.
right?
I love competition though.
But
A
competition
good,
is
healthy
good.
competition
I
is
really
But that's
always
a big
good.
thing. So I was happy to see that they already implemented one of the items that I wanted by having all bids listed, but that needs to continue.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Awesome.
So that's like random.
I think you
ramble.
I think you answered that one and nailed it.
answered really good.
Killed it.
Do you want to take a minute or two, just kind
Kinda
of
wrap
sum up
yourself up?
anything, or is there anything outside of the questions that you want to throw out there, or it doesn't even have to be that, like any summary
Closing
or
argument.
Closing argument.
yeah, you know, like, is there a
Vote for
question you have for
Renee.
us?
I'm excited
She's like,
about
vote
that.
for Renee
Yeah,
right
can you
here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm excited because I think we're going to have more often than not when it's time for a vote. There's never enough people
Yeah.
who submit
Not
their
this
ballots.
year.
This year it's going to be
Right.
big.
Not this year.
But then there's an extra expense that always happens when not enough people submit the ballots. So I'm really excited that that's not going to happen because we don't have that extra expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone takes the time to read through everything, that they don't just believe what they read on Facebook. I had someone come up to me and said, "Oh, I heard you are all about spending." I'm like,
What? No. Since the
the
moment you
opposite.
walked
Like,
in. Yeah.
how-
The moment you walked in, you told me you're
And
a
I'm not
coupon
saying,
chaser.
like,
So I know you're a
right,
saver.
But I'm not like, oh, we're going to cut all projects because we want to live in the 1980s here. But it's like, no, just spend responsibly.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I encourage everyone to do their own research. I love that people are getting involved. Certainly, I'd love for everyone to vote for me. Give me one of your three. Yeah. Oh, and also Sunday, and I hope you can be there
Yes,
since you're
we
right
can.
there. It's a meet and greet, so I'll have mimosas, and I just bought these massive bottles of champagne.
I'm all about a
blonde.
mimosa. I could do a mimosa.
Put the plug in, the full plug.
Do
here.
it. Okay, so
this is
meet
for
and
all
greet,
citizens,
All
right?
citizens meet
Yes.
and greet from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in front of my house. And
I won't be far. I think I,
I know
can make
you-
it.
I could drag you home after
Right.
too. Drive you in my golf cart. My address is it's on Facebook, but 23276 Pretty Dough Drive, which is street right above Gray Fox.
Yep.
And I'll have little snackies out and
coming for the
mimosas, no
snacks.
coffee, but there'll be
Mimosas,
water
yeah.
and little sparkling waters.
Free
She said
mimosas.
snacks. I'm there.
Little snacks.
I like
On
snacks.
a
They're all-
Sunday?
you know what? They're all individually packaged because people freak out. So I want to respect that.
I just
Yeah.
keep coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Can I have another? Yeah. Can I have another snack?
If Sunday comes and you guys don't have the address, or you don't want to look through an hour and a half of video to find it, reach out to us, thelonewolf.us, 951-333-7922. It's my personal cell phone number.
Hit us
I'll
up
take-
on Facebook.
Yeah, you can hit us on Facebook, send us a private message. Send
got
us
emails.
emails.
Smoke signals.
Yeah, jj@thelonewolf.us.
Spotlights.
Whatever you guys need. We're happy to kind of help in
Yeah.
this whole process.
thank
I'm
you.
actually super excited.
That's fun.
I'm
And
super
dude, this is a
excited.
good icebreaker for this POA like
Yeah.
kickoff for us because I mean I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I don't,
Oh, were
I don't
you?
know. Yeah, because you never know what you're gonna come in here with. You don't know.
Well, I gotta
could be
hand it.
some
I gotta hand it to the
boring,
candidates.
Could've
No, I
been
gotta
really
I gotta,
mean. I
gotta-
don't know.
I gotta hand it to the candidates. You know,
Yeah.
they're coming in here. It's the first time that visual media has ever been done in Canada.
big deal. Yeah.
Surrounding a vote
An election,
of any
yeah.
kind, an election of any
Well, they didn't
kind.
know they were gonna have to get up and
Right.
actually like speak like this. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
it's
yeah, no, I
pretty
mean, we have
cool.
5 of the 6 candidates coming in here, putting their balls on the bandsaw, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Before today, you didn't know me. I didn't
No.
know you. We talked on the phone briefly.
Yeah.
We
We're
sent a few text
neighbors and
messages.
didn't
I
know
know,
each
I
other,
know.
so
Yeah.
I don't
So
know how
sad. I
that
walk by your
worked
house
out.
every day.
Right? I was like, she
day.
knows me.
I knew
No.
more about your husband and his work.
I was like, wait, how do you know my husband works at night? But she knew.
Yeah, creepy, huh?
Well, no, I
Stalker.
really, really, really appreciate that, and we have other candidates coming on. I
Yeah.
mean, next week we have Brad Folan and Brian
Great.
Bach. I didn't know Brian Bach until last Sunday. My wife and I went up to PZA for beers with
Oh,
Brian.
nice.
Got the opportunity to speak with him for a minute, and seems like a really nice guy. Can't wait to have him on the show. I haven't met Brad Folan yet, but he seems like a really nice guy. And the following week, we're having Tim Cook and Chris Poland, who is an incumbent.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm excited. You guys are doing it.
I'm excited to have everybody.
No problem.
You know, I'm excited to have everybody.
Thank you for coming.
I'm very excited that you came too.
Yeah, this is fun.
Renee.
Do you remember my first concern though when we talked?
What's that?
I asked him, like, is there going to be a blur tool? Are you going to rub Vaseline on the lens to maybe I look a little bit younger? No such luck.
We put filters over everything. Don't worry. I am the filter
Excellent.
queen. Don't worry.
We will color grade
It's all
it.
good.
Don't worry about it.
I got rid of my gray last night, so I feel a little bit
I
better.
got you, girl. Don't worry.
Keeping it real.
Renee, you actually you seem like a very, very nice person.
Thank you.
And you seem like you have Canyon Lake at the forefront of your mind, which I'm a huge supporter of.
Awesome.
Anybody who has that, even if I disagree on what somebody has to say about a particular point or whatever, I think that just somebody who has the best interest of the lake,
Canyon Lake
at heart
Yeah.
is really what everybody's looking for. So that's not a direct endorsement,
No, I don't know.
right? But after these interviews over the next 3 Fridays, we are going to have a special episode 4 weeks from now with actually a gentleman named Brad Morton.
Yes.
Oh,
And he runs the Canyon Lake Newbies and Social Club.
oh my gosh. He's
Right?
hilarious.
He's a really great guy. I just met him at Beers with Brian. And, me and Heather, we're dinosaurs here in Canyon Lake. We don't know a lot of the
He's a
newbies.
dinosaur,
So I
I'm
said,
not
hey,
a
Brad,
dinosaur."
you seem to represent this group of new Canyon Lakers very, very well, extremely well.
Yeah.
And so we want your take on it. So he's going to come on the show. We're going to release our official endorsements. Unfortunately, there's only 5 of you as opposed to 6 that we get to choose from because, I don't know the other guy and he's not coming on the show.
Yeah.
So unfortunate,
Interesting.
but we really, really, really appreciate having you here.
Thank you
you.
for having us. And
And-
you guys can catch us here every single Friday
You're so
live.
outgoing, right?
TheLoneWolf.us.
You can give us a call, you can give us a text, you can send us a message. We're in the real estate and mortgage industry. We take what we do very, very, very seriously. We put all of the effort into whatever we do, whether we get paid for it monetarily or we don't, like this podcast. We put all the effort into it. So if you're looking for real people who live right here in the lake that you could trust and that'll shoot you straight and tell you exactly what's going on, we're the people to call when it comes to real estate transactions and mortgages. Just want to throw that out there, the shameless plug. But more importantly, we are all things Canyon Lake, and that's why we're doing this. We're not doing this, to get in front of everybody and try to sell everybody a mortgage or anything else. Even though we'd love to represent you, where our heart is here, especially in these like super trying times. Like everybody's divided. And I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. Everybody needs to, just live in, I don't want to say live in harmony. That's so cliche.
No, I agree.
But no, I mean, like, just be a good fucking person, people.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%.
I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
100%.
I don't care.
I saw it on
Be a good
Instagram
guy.
this morning.
I'll be a good guy.
Well, someone wore a
We'll all
sign.
take care of each other.
Said if you miss hugs because of COVID, you can hug me. And I swear to you, I was bawling my eyes out looking at everyone hug this man because you guys, personal connection is everything. And we've lost that. So hopefully we can get back to that. Hopefully we can bring humanity back and kindness and things like that. Just be a good human. I say it every day.
Be a good human. Love your Canyon Lakers.
Love your neighbors.
Yes.
We would like to thank our sponsor,
Yes.
Underline Energy Concepts. They are sponsoring the Breakfast Club.
Yes, they are.
So please, if you guys didn't hear about the Breakfast Club at the beginning of the show, please rewind back to that. Underline Energy Concepts is a sponsor of it.
Yep.
We could not do this without them.
Yep.
We could not do this without the support of some city council members.
Yep.
We have some just POA members at large. We have some POA members who want to do it.
And all of you watching, supporting us.
Yeah, we're gonna start taking care of people. We're gonna start being positive, and we're gonna get rid of the negativity, no matter what, whatever it takes.
100%.
Right? So,
Don't be a bully.
Renee,
Yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Whoops,
Thank
sorry.
you,
Thank you
Renee.
very,
Good
very
luck in your election.
Thank you.
The Lone Wolf is out of here for this episode. Join us next week, Friday at 6. We're going to be going live with Brad Folan and Brian Bach. I cannot wait for these interviews.
I'm excited.
They're very,
I'm so
very
excited.
interesting individuals. But until then, Canyon Lake, we love you.
Peace out, Canyon Lake. See you next Friday.
Take it easy.